Daria, welcome to Scrum Master, the video series where I give you practical tips on how to build awesome teams. Since the beginning of the pandemic, I have been running different virtual meetups for people to come together and ask some questions around the Scrum Master role and get some help and maybe coaching advice that can help them be more successful, especially during these uncertain times. And there are a lot of questions that were asked that we never got answered. So I thought that it would be a good idea to go back to some of the questions that were asked and just answer as many as I can in a short video and hopefully give you some ideas and insight on what you can do, what you can implement right now with your teams to be more successful in this remote new world of Scrum Mastery. What I'm going to do is go back to the virtual whiteboard that we used and look at some of the questions that are there that are still sitting in the to discuss column. Here's the whiteboard from our first virtual Lean Coffee. As you can see, we were only able to go through 5 questions here on the right. Let's go back to the to discuss column and see what question I can answer today. Here you go, examples for ensuring that goals, scope, and product domain are understood by everyone on the Scrum team by the Scrum Master. Now going back to these roles in Scrum, everything that is related to the product is the responsibility of the product owner, including everyone understanding the product and everyone understanding the product requirements or the product backlog items, right? The product backlog itself. So if your team does not understand what are the goals, what is the upcoming scope or the milestones, potential release milestones that you have, or the product vision is unclear to people, I would turn back to your product owner first. It might be that your product owner doesn't really know some of those things, such as the product vision. That's something that a lot of the teams, especially in big organizations, don't really have, or who the customer is, kind of a customer persona. And if you do not have those artifacts, I would encourage you to work with your product owner first to define them, whether it is a customer journey, customer persona, can be product vision. You can use tools like impact mapping and user story mapping, all those things to help really create the understanding of the product, first of all, by the product owner. If you already have all of those artifacts and they're already created and they exist and there is a clear understanding of the goals, the scope, and the product itself by the product owner, but this information is still unclear to your team, then there might be a gap in communication between the product owner and the team. In this case, we want to close that gap. And to do that, what you can do is whenever there is a discussion between the product owner and the team, they come together, and before any conversation starts about when something is going to be done or how much time we need or any kind of estimation, we start with the goals. So if you're in the sprint planning, before you even start pulling any work into the sprint, you talk about the goal for the sprint. And if you talk about the goal for the sprint, you also want to link it back to a release milestone, more of a higher goal that is a few sprints away. Start with that first, before you even start estimating the work or pulling the work into the sprint. So that will help you be more clear on the goals. But remember, it is the accountability of the product owner to make sure that everyone understands that, right? Maybe if the communication doesn't happen, your product owner doesn't really know that they should be doing that, so help them understand, right? That is your primary objective as a Scrum Master, is help everyone understand the Scrum framework, and in this case, help everyone understand their accountabilities and their roles. Thank you for watching, and if you like this video, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this YouTube channel, as I will be uploading more insightful videos for Scrum Masters. I'd love to see you on scrummaster.com blog with your insights around the topics that we covered today. As you're on the blog, do consider signing up for the newsletter as I am sharing even more valuable content with my newsletter subscribers, such as free downloads and sometimes personal stories that I do not share anywhere else. Thank you for watching. Cheers and Scrum on!